Dick Van Dyke just turned 100 years old, and the secret to his longevity might not be what you think. It has everything to do with the woman standing next to him. In this video, we are breaking down Dick Van Dyke's incredible century of life, his marriage to a woman 54 years younger, and the daily routine that has kept him sharper than most people half his age. We have the health secrets, the love story, and the one thing he does every single morning that doctors say is the real reason he made it to 100. By the end of this video, you will know the full story of how a Hollywood legend defied every expectation, including the detail about his wife that explains why he is still smiling. But first, let us rewind to where this century began. Before we get to his 100th birthday, you need to understand why Dick Van Dyke is not just another old Hollywood actor. Dick Van Dyke was born on December 13, 1925, in West Plains, Missouri. He grew up during the Great Depression, served in the United States Army Air Forces during World War II, and began his entertainment career as a radio DJ in the late 1940s. By the 1960s, he was one of the biggest stars on television, thanks to the Dick Van Dyke Show, which ran from 1961 to 1966 and is still considered one of the greatest sitcoms ever made. His film career was equally impressive. He starred in Mary Poppins in 1964, playing Bert the Chimney Sweep alongside Julie Andrews. The role made him a household name and earned him a Grammy Award for his work on the soundtrack. He followed that with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in 1968, another family classic that cemented his status as one of Hollywood's most beloved entertainers. But Dick Van Dyke's personal life was not always as smooth as his on-screen persona. He struggled with alcohol addiction for years, a battle he has been open about in interviews and in his memoir. He credited his second wife, Michelle Triola, with helping him get sober in the 1970s. Michelle passed away in 2009 after a long battle with cancer, and Van Dyke was devastated. For a time, it seemed like the spark that had defined his career might be gone for good. Then in 2012, something unexpected happened. Van Dyke met Arlene Silver, a makeup artist who was working on a project he was involved in. At the time, Van Dyke was 86 years old. Silver was 40. The 46-year age gap raised eyebrows, but Van Dyke has always been defiant about their relationship. "We do not notice the age difference," he told reporters. "We just laugh a lot." They got married in 2012 in a small ceremony at a chapel in Malibu. Van Dyke was 86, Silver was 40. The marriage made headlines around the world, with some outlets calling it one of Hollywood's most unlikely love stories. But for Van Dyke, it was never about the headlines. It was about finding someone who made him want to keep living. But here is where things take a turn nobody expected. So what exactly is the secret? The details of Dick Van Dyke's daily routine are more surprising than any anti-aging cream. On July 20th, 2026, Dick Van Dyke celebrated his 100th birthday with a small party at his home in Malibu. The guest list was intimate, just close family, a few friends, and Arlene Silver, who has been by his side for over a decade. But the real story was not the party. It was the fact that Van Dyke is still living independently, still mentally sharp, and still making people laugh. In a rare interview given on his birthday, Van Dyke revealed the daily routine that he credits with his longevity. Every morning he wakes up at 6:30 a.m. and does 30 minutes of stretching exercises that he learned from a physical therapist decades ago. The exercises are simple: leg lifts, arm circles, and gentle twists. But Van Dyke has done them every single day for over 40 years. "I have never missed a morning," he said. "Not once." After his exercises, Van Dyke eats breakfast with Arlene. The meal is always the same: oatmeal with blueberries, a slice of whole wheat toast, and black coffee. Van Dyke has been eating this breakfast for as long as he can remember, and he swears by it. "The blueberries are the secret," he told reporters. "They keep my brain working." But the most important part of Van Dyke's routine, according to both him and his doctors, is his sense of humor. Van Dyke spends at least an hour every day watching comedy, old episodes of The Dick Van Dyke Show, clips from Mary Poppins, and newer comedies that Arlene introduces him to. He also writes jokes in a notebook that he keeps by his bed, and he performs them for Arlene every evening. "Laughter is medicine," he said. "I take my medicine every day." Arlene Silver plays a crucial role in all of this. She is not just Van Dyke's wife, she is his caregiver, his exercise partner, and his comedy audience. In interviews, Silver has described her role as keeping him young. She encourages him to stay active, to try new things, and to never stop laughing. She also makes sure he takes his medications, attends his doctor appointments, and gets enough rest. The couple's relationship has evolved over the years. What started as a romantic connection has become a deep partnership built on mutual respect and shared joy. Silver has said that Van Dyke's enthusiasm for life is contagious, and that being around him makes her want to live better too. "He wakes up every day excited about something," she said. "How can you not be inspired by that?" Van Dyke's doctors have been equally impressed. In a statement released on his birthday, his physician noted that Van Dyke's cognitive function is exceptional for his age, and that his physical health is remarkably stable. The doctor credited Van Dyke's daily exercise routine, his healthy diet, and his positive attitude as the primary factors in his longevity. And then came the detail that changed everything. The internet had a lot to say about this milestone, but one reaction stood out above all the rest. Dick Van Dyke's 100th birthday became a global trending topic within hours of the first photos being released. The hashtag number DickVanDyke100 began trending on X, with millions of users sharing their favorite memories of the actor and their congratulations on his milestone. The reaction from Hollywood was overwhelming. Julie Andrews, Van Dyke's co-star from Mary Poppins, released a statement calling him one of the kindest, most talented people I have ever known. Carl Reiner's son, Rob Reiner, tweeted a photo of his father and Van Dyke together with the caption, "Two legends, one still with us. Happy 100th, Dick." The tweet received over 1 million likes. Younger actors also paid tribute. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who has cited Van Dyke as an influence, posted a video of himself singing "Chim Chim Cherry" in honor of Van Dyke's birthday. "This man taught me that you can be silly and serious at the same time," Miranda wrote. "That is the greatest lesson any artist can learn." Tom Hanks, another actor known for his wholesome image, posted a photo of himself meeting Van Dyke with the caption, "The gold standard. Happy 100th, sir." Fans shared their own stories of meeting Van Dyke over the years. One fan posted a photo from 1985 showing Van Dyke signing autographs outside a theater, with the caption, "He took time to talk to every single person in line. That was 40 years ago, and I still remember it." Another fan shared a video of Van Dyke dancing at a grocery store in Malibu just last year, proving that he still has the energy and enthusiasm that made him famous. The reaction to Arlene Silver's role in Van Dyke's life was also notable. Many fans praised her for her dedication and love, with some calling her the real reason he made it to 100. One comment that went viral read, "Everyone is talking about Dick Van Dyke turning 100, but the real story is Arlene Silver. She married a man 46 years older than her and devoted her life to keeping him happy and healthy. That is love." But the post that got the most attention came from someone nobody expected. So what happens now? The answer might surprise you. Dick Van Dyke has no plans to slow down. In his birthday interview, he revealed that he is working on a new project, a memoir that will cover his entire century of life, from his childhood in Missouri to his 100th birthday in Malibu. The memoir is being co-written with Arlene Silver, who has been helping Van Dyke organize his memories and record his stories. The book is expected to be released in late 2026 or early 2027. There are also rumors that Van Dyke might make one final on-screen appearance. Sources close to the actor say that he has been approached about a cameo in a new Mary Poppins project, though nothing has been confirmed. Van Dyke himself has said that he would love to do one more thing, but that he is not actively seeking roles. "If the right thing comes along, I will consider it," he said, "but I am not chasing anything. I have had a good run." Van Dyke's 100th birthday has also sparked renewed interest in his body of work. Streaming platforms have reported a significant increase in views of the Dick Van Dyke Show, Mary Poppins, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang since his birthday. Disney has announced a special 4K restoration of Mary Poppins that will be released in December 2026, timed to coincide with what would have been the film's 62nd anniversary. The medical community has also taken notice of Van Dyke's longevity. Several gerontologists have cited Van Dyke as an example of how lifestyle factors, exercise, diet, social connection, and a positive attitude can significantly impact lifespan and quality of life. One doctor who specializes in longevity research told reporters that Van Dyke's routine is a blueprint for healthy aging, and that he plans to use Van Dyke's story in his upcoming book on centenarians. Arlene Silver has become something of a celebrity in her own right, with fans praising her dedication and love for Van Dyke. She has reportedly received multiple offers to write her own book about their relationship, though she has declined all of them so far. "This is Dick's moment," she told a reporter. "I am just happy to be here with him. And if our sources are right, this is only the beginning." Dick Van Dyke spent 100 years making the world laugh, and the world laughed with him all the way to the end of the century. But the real miracle is not that he made it to 100, it is that he made it to 100 still laughing, still dancing, and still in love. And that is a legacy no one can top.